Before going to bed, I thought I'd leave you with one last story. And this is the improbable story which is being put out by the TASS news agency and other Russian led papers that the UK and US have been conducting underhand efforts to undermine Russia's position in Syria. Well, the US and the UK didn't really need to do that. Whether they're doing it or not, I have no idea. I'm not a member of some sort of intelligence service. But there was no need for this. Russia has quite clearly done the job for itself by backing a country run by a savage organization like Assad's that indulged in persecuting and terrorizing and torturing its own citizens. But oh my goodness, Russia does that too. So repressing its own people and then attacking others. So I don't think that Britain and America had much to do with the Russian with the collapse of the Russian bases in Syria, or indeed with the collapse of the Russian regime. That was all really done by themselves. The overview of the fall of Bashar al-Assad's government and the dramatic shift in Syrian leadership under Ahmed al-Sharaa is something that was conducted by the Syrian rebels. And Russia's ongoing role in Syria as a stabilizing military presence versus the alleged Anglo-American narrative of chaos is an absurdity. Russia was not a stabilizing military presence. Russia was a presence which was egging on the tyranny of Assad. Claims that the US and the UK were orchestrating terrorist attacks on Russian military bases in Syria using Islamic State fighters is simply nonsensical. And the alleged provision of UAVs and pre-warnings of airstrikes to IS fighters, again, absurd. The Russia's strategic bases in Tartus and Khmeimim and their importance for Moscow's influence in the Middle East is abundantly clear, and the alleged Anglo-American agendum to maintain instability, to secure dominance over the region's resources and politics would be a very good idea, but it's not necessary. Questions surrounding the veracity of SVR's claims will no doubt abound, but this is about finger pointing to lay the blame for the SVR's own inadequacy on some other country, some other organization. The blame for Russia's failure in Syria is Russia's alone, and its connivance and its support of a regime that wasn't fit for purpose. The accusations of Western involvement with extremist groups in Syria, including partnerships with the SDF and opposition to Assad, unnecessary. And Russia's military strategy post-Assad and potential recalibrations in the light of these accusations is about desperation. How this development affects NATO's relationship with Russia, how it affects these relations and the broader Middle East security dynamic, I have no idea, but I don't think this is any more than a lot of bluster to try to save face by the SVR, by the Russian authorities, and the Cold War era proxy conflicts and their enduring influence on modern day theatres of conflict. This is a hangover, and the role of media narratives, the role of propaganda in shaping public perception of such conflicts may have worked, but that was before Russia was identified as a lying twit by the president of Azerbaijan. That identification today or yesterday, by Aliyev changes the scene completely. Suddenly, Russia and the Kremlin is exposed as deceitful. So the allegations that Britain and the US were involved in trying to blacken Russia's name, it's not necessary. Were they involved in attempts to help the Syrian rebels? Well, I certainly hope they were. But there's no evidence for that. The broader risks of escalation in a region already riddled and rippling with complex alliances and rivalries is certainly there, and I hope that if there are US and UK forces in Syria now, they will be contributing to stability rather than trying to breed further instability. In a world where global politics often masquerades as ideology, peace can be a common goal, and if chaos is a strategy, it inevitably spirals out of control. Our strategy in the Middle East must be to engage in peace, to engage in security, and to engage in stability.